Hello guys, and welcome back to Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016, and tonight is a big one, because this is from a band whose last album was amazing and made the 2014 Album of the Year list. They are back at again this year with a brand new record. It is the Belgian death metal legends Aborted and their new album RETROGORE. RETROGORE, that is, if it didn't come through all the way. But Aborted is a band from Belgium that is a very interesting death metal band that incorporate a little bit of grindcore speed in their music, like very hyper speed, micro grindcore style stuff into their death metal style, with even some technical death metal thrown into the mix, because they were highly influenced by bands such as Suffocation, Decapitated, Cannibal Corpse, so on and so forth. Carcass was a big influence on them. Sepultura is a big influence, Converge even as well. They're just influenced by a lot of bands, and Aborted has been one of those underground European death metal darlings, at least for the last decade, or really ever since they put out their album Goremageddon, The Saw, and The Carnage Done back in the day. And their last record, The Necrotic Manifesto, which I have in my collection back here, was a phenomenal album that had great flow and just very brutal, disgusting, gory stuff thrown in there. How does the band do on this next time around here with RETROGORE? We're about to find out. So the first track I want to talk about here is the title track, RETROGORE. And right off the gate, the sheer speed and brutality that this band has been known for throughout their whole career still packs a big punch. It's like I said in the past couple reviews, you're pretty much like a punching bag when you're listening to albums like this. It's like, just because of just how fast and furious and brutal it is, you're just like lost in this world, just getting punched to death. Like, it's that intense, and Aborted has always been a highly intense band throughout their whole career. RETROGORE, this title track, kicks off the album. While the album starts off with a movie sample introduction or something like that called De la Morte de l'Amour, it's the movie samples that also Aborted is known for bringing in, the movie samples, mostly from movies like Hellraiser, for some reason. But they also try, I guess, to bring in other movies, although I don't know any of them. But still, with the title track, kicks this album off with a bang. The next track I want to talk about is Cadaverous Banquet. And this song, you want to talk about a gore fest, this track was it. Like, just, you can tell that Aborted's taking the influence of early Carcass lyrically with albums like Reek of Putrefaction and Symphonies of Sickness. I get that kind of feeling when I hear the lyrics to this song. It just sounds very much like as if you were listening to early Carcass, or even Cannibal Corpse, or Cattle Decapitation for that matter. Bands that just have those horror, gore-infested lyrics, and Aborted take that and put it into this song, and the music on top of that was well executed, has these great riffs, these unbelievably fast blast beats that honestly you hear throughout most of the entire record. Another solid track to kick this album off. Again. The next track I want to talk about is Horrormageddon. Pretty much a play on of the album title Goremageddon, but Horrormageddon. So this song is about basically mutilation of prostitutes. Holy crap, this is probably the most explicit song on the record, and that's why this song fucking rules, is because of the fact that Aborted just don't give a shit who they offend. They're going to go out there and put out some of the most brutal lyrics you could ever read, and make some of the most brutal music you could ever hear, and if people like it, awesome. If people don't, well, you teach their own, but in my opinion, in this case, I'd say, fuck yeah. Not really, but anyways, just the title of the song even is awesome. Hormageddon. It's just, wow. Aborted definitely know how to be controversial in some way, shape, or form. So there you go with that. And then the last track I want to talk about is Divine Impediment. One of the longest songs of the album, at a little over 4 minutes in length. Pretty much the whole album was mostly 3-4 minute tracks with only one song under 3 minutes, and that was the song Forged for Decrepit, which was under 3 minutes. But with Divine Impediment, this song starts to showcase a little tempo change. Like, there was some slow parts, some mid-tempo parts within the track. And also what's cool about this song features Travis Ryan, the vocalist of Cattle Decapitation, doing some vocals on this song. And in fact, throughout the whole album, you hear guest vocal appearances from people like David Davidson from Revocation, the vocalist of Benighted, the vocalist of Origin, and Travis from Cattle. So, and the way that these vocalists sort of played off of the singer, Siphon, I believe that's how you would say his first name. It's Belgian. I couldn't tell. But they really played off each other very well, because Siphon has this very low voice, but also has this cool, kind of almost metalcore-esque yell to him. And that's why I guess sometimes some people just blindly call Aborted a deathcore band. Not so sure about that. But anyways, with Divine Impediment, take some of those lyrical influences of Cattle Decapitation, talking about the issues with the world and so on and so forth, and Aborted definitely put that on with this song lyrically. Musically, probably one of the most diverse tracks of the album, and probably my favorite of the album if I had to choose. So the big question is, did it stand up to Necrotic Manifesto? The answer to that question is hell yes. And in fact, I think this topped Necrotic Manifesto in my personal opinion. Just the songs top to bottom was just a sheer onslaught of an assault of music and lyrics. And the performance by the band was just unbelievable. The movie samples were pretty cool. The different transitions you get within the album. And another key factor, like I said in the review for Necrotic Manifesto, the flow of the album was just perfect. It didn't sound like as if they were skipping a whole bunch or whatever. It all was well connected together. So and also the band is bringing in all these influences of some of their all-time favorite bands, such as, Carcass, Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Sepultura, Converge, and a bunch of other bands that I could probably name off the top of my head. But I'm not going to. But Aborted has definitely arrived. 95 out of 100 for another album. This could potentially be an Album of the Year contender. This album, like I said, was just a non-stop onslaught of music and lyrics that it will just be in your head for a good while. I'm going to buy this album whenever I get the chance, because this album blew me away. If you're into brutal death metal, definitely check this album out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this review tonight. As far as any other potential reviews coming soon, I still got to review a couple records that I missed, like Spiritual Beggars, Artillery, Ragnarok, and bands like that. But as far as what's coming out next week, however, next week looks to be quite interesting, because we've got the new Rob Zombie album, new Fallujah, Discharge will be interesting, and or Haken, whatever you may want to call it. I think it's Haken. So Haken is going to probably be one of the bigger ones as far as popularity, Rob Zombie, but also for Underground Discharge and even Fallujah. But again, 95 out of 100 for RETROGORE by Aborted. Thank you guys for watching this review. Peace out, and have a good night/morning.